Hi, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about um, in what circumstances, once you check in at a nursing home, in what circumstances you come out, and how hard it is to come out again and to reverse the decision that you have made to be in a nursing home in the first place. And of course, there are a few exceptions that I'm going to be laying out. That having been working at a nursing home for some time, over 3 years, I have seen very much all of everything that needs to be seen. Nursing home residence experiences, staff as a staff member, of course, one of the nursing homes, I was able to know the details about what circumstances residents, people who live in a nursing home, elderly especially, because not just elderly. Most people think that nursing home is just for elderly. I met some people, I had to attend, I had to work with people at a nursing home who are like 40 years old, 50, 45, 50. Maybe not too younger than 40, but I remember working with 40 something in a special circumstances, of course. Uh, so I want to lay out the first thing is that many things change once you get into nursing home. One of the most important reason is that it's so hard to come out to reverse that decision that you have made with your family and children, is that once you get in there, once you register in, because you a voluntary, I mean, you make arrangement, of course you make a financial arrangement with your children, with your loved ones closely, most of the time. That's the whole idea. Once your children, are grown up, they have their own lives, and maybe you are alone at home, or maybe with only with your spouse, your significant other who you live with. So it's one of the most important decisions that you can really make. Of course, you and your family. So once you register, you have made all the financial arrangement, because it's a financial arrangement. That's There's no doubt about it. Of course, most likely you're gonna your 401k, your savings. Of course, Medicaid pays part of it, and of course, um, once you have made your budget for the yearly payment. Of course, you pay on a monthly basis. That's the arrangement that people most of the people make, right? But of course, you have already, with your financial planner and financial advisor, you have made that those calculations of how much you're going to be paying for the year, in a yearly basis, of course. And once you have arrived the first day at a nursing home, of course, you made an arrangement. If you want to, the first thing is, you when you register in, they have, the staff is there to welcome you, and you see the other residents also. You know, some maybe smiling, half a smile, some just looking and staring at you, or some really don't care. Is That's the setting. That's the normal setting of a nursing home. It's not, there is no welcoming party, like a big party or dance or anything. Nothing like that. But of course, some people smile at you. Half a smile. The staff members are trained to welcome you with open arms, of course. And that's not a false, sentiment, false sense of, of kindness. Of course, being a staff member at nursing home, it's not for everybody. It's not. I have seen people quit in 2 weeks. I have seen people quit in 3 days, quit their jobs. It's not an easy job. Most people think that it's easy because you have to just, you know, uh, there help cleaning a patient, the resident, feed them, or giving away medication in the case of the nurses. And of course, the cleaning part, there is a cleaning, of course, staff, cooking staff, I mean, the kitchen staff, I mean, the medical staff. There are so many people involved in a nursing home care. But let's talk about, once you get, what's exactly is going on when you register. You register, you bring your luggage, right? You register in, you sign, and of course you have somebody who, the person, the guardian, not the, well, it's in a way it's a guardian basically, yeah, the contact number of a relative, number one, that could be contacted if anything happens to you. Of course, this could be your spouse, if your spouse, because in some cases your spouse stays home, your wife or your husband stay home, and you are the one stuck in the nursing home. In some cases it's like that. Sometimes, in some cases, both the husband and wife move to the nursing home. But in some cases, and I have seen those cases, which is very strange. I mean, if you're married to a person, how come your spouse is going to stay home and then you are stuck in a nursing home? And I saw a few cases, which was very strange. And of course, you register in the morning. I mean, at the time that you arrive, it doesn't have to early. It doesn't have to be early in the morning. Of course, most nursing home has most of it, 99%, 9%, 99.9% of the nursing home. They have the schedule, three schedules, right? From 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Three the schedule for 24 hours. So it's encouraged, of course, to arrive, to check in after breakfast. After breakfast is after 8 o'clock. Typically, breakfast is at 7 in the morning. 7 in the morning to 8. Like, there's a schedule for everything there at nursing home. Just like in an army, like a battalion, in an army base. Basically, there's a schedule for everything from sunrise to dawn, right? To dawn. Even at night, there is a schedule for the graveyard shift, what they call. So, as a resident, you arrive in the morning, hopefully 8:30, 9 comfortably, and you check in, and you have made arrangement for a single room for you, right? For a private room. Now, a private room, of course, we as the staff member, I was one of them, take care of your things, carry your things, help you out and say hi to your loved one. Of course, you have an exchange, you have a little social moment, 10, 15 minutes with your relative who took you to the nursing home in the first place. Either you are in a wheelchair or you are still walking a little bit. In any case, situation, somebody took you there. Somebody, a relative, a guardian, a legal guardian. If you have no family member, somebody legally able to take you there, of course, to drive you there and sign, of course, that person going to be signing in, of course, as the person that needs to be contacted if anything happens there. So after everything has been done, all the details of the paperwork has been done, of course, you are assigned to a private. If you have a private room, of course, that's just as the arrangement, right? A private room costs money. It costs double than what can cost, the room with a roommate, right? It will cost double, basically. But you want some privacy. But you never have 100% privacy, even a private room. So you arrange, your bed is there, clean bed, clean linens, your all the things that you need, soap, shampoo. I mean, of course, you bring your own shampoo, of course, but there's a little things there if you want to use the the shampoo and soap that has been assigned for the nursing home. Of course, the staff member, So once you have been assigned to now the first thing is that your adjustment period, right? Adjustment period of how much you're gonna be adjusted to a new room, which is not home, exactly not home, but well, staff members make you feel like you're home, right? But if you have a roommate now, well, you have to adjust to the other roommate. If that roommate has medical issues, even if that doesn't have medical, what if he's snoring? If he or she, your roommate, who lives in a next door, in a different bed, of course. I mean, separate bed, everything. You have a window, sometimes leading to the window leading to the gardening area. Typically, that's the way it is. Or if you have a room leading to the street area where you can through the window you can see the streets and cars passing by or people walking by, but you through the window. That's the only thing. So now that if you have a roommate, right, you have to adjust a period of adjustment. So how what's the lifestyle of that roommate? I mean, what kind of life does he have? I mean, if he has medical issue, does he have like a prostate? Is a male prostate issue that that person needs to go 4 or 5 times, 6 times to the bathroom. Of course, and in the chart, right? The staff member, the nurse's aide. I was a nurse's aide, of course, and there's everything set there. What time, very much that person, ex-resident go to the bathroom, and what are the medical issues that he has. How many times, for instance, the person in the graveyard shift from 11 to 7, most likely there's going to be more often visiting one particular room more often than the others because of a particular medical issue of that resident. Of course, and you have to make adjustment to that kind of setting. That even if you have a private room, not all lights goes off. Think about that. you don't even close the door. There is- They never allow the door totally shut. Shut. I mean, close, total privacy. There is no such thing as total privacy. Why not? Because you can't, as a resident of nursing home, if you in a nursing home facility, you can't lock in from inside your room. I mean, you can pull it a little bit, pull the door a little bit, but it is always it's gonna be halfway open, which is which that means is that the hallway lighting, because the hallway is always lit. I mean, there's always light 24/7, just like a hospital. I mean, people are going, back and forth, people walking through the end of the hallway. There's always staff members at night doing work. It's like a little, more, it's a little bit like a hospital, not exactly like a hospital, but so it's hard to sleep for many people. Some people have a light sleep, some people have heavy sleep. I mean, but there is no such thing as 100% privacy, even in a private room setting. So, so you have to adjust to all that kind of stuff. So once you have arrived in the morning, I mean, in early, 9, 10 in the morning, the first thing is, well, you make arrangement, your clothing, your bed, your new linen, and the everything that you look around, and the staff member is going to tell you what is available, what's where, everything, right? This nursing station is there. How to use the call bell, if you have an emergency, how to, the routine. I mean, they're gonna give you, the staff is gonna give you a list of routines, the program of the day, right? What program goes on Monday, what is the schedule for Tuesday, what is the schedule for Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day of the week. There's a schedule for every day of the week, and everyday routine, the activities of daily living. For instance, when you have um, a class for because some people receive class for singing class, or games, or doing exercise in the gardening area, in the garden area, in the hallway. I mean, all kinds of the physical therapies. When is going to be the day for the physical therapy, or life therapies. I mean, there are so many professionals going to attending a nursing home, of course, for big money, for value, of course. People pay for that kind of services. So um, the first day is like orientation, just like for a staff member. There's orientation for day number one for a staff member, right? For a helper, for a nurse's aide, or even for an LPN, licensed practical nurse, or RN, right? Registered nurse. So once you have, it's a busy day. The first day is going to be a hectic day in a way, because you are getting used to the nursing home environment and the routine, a schedule that you never had when you were home, that you never had. I mean, you have, you can eat at home. Of course, you could eat anything, anytime you want. You can have snack anytime. You can open your own fridge, your own refrigerator, anytime you wish for. You can make phone calls and receive phone calls anytime you wanted to. Of course, at a nursing home setting, there is a telephone. There are phones in every room. Of course, in every room there's a phone that people have to call the central lane to to get in contact with you. Like, you have an extension, like extensions number, in which you contact. I mean, somebody calls you, and then you are transfer. You have, they transfer you to your number, to your room number, basically, and that's how you get in. You have your conversation with it. It could be loved ones, or a family member, or somebody else. But anyway, so that's the first. It's a hectic day. So lunch is typically 12 to 1. So now you have a schedule for lunch, 12 to 1. Otherwise, if 12 to 1 is gone and you didn't eat lunch, or you didn't feel like eating lunch at 12 o'clock. Let's say you felt that you're not hungry, that you're going to eat at 1:30. You can't. I mean, it's not possible. That's the schedule. Now you have a schedule to go through. So the same thing if for dinner. If dinner is 5 to 6, of course at 5 you have to be ready to go. Well, somebody has to wheel you or take you to the dining room area. Or if you're taking your dinner in your own room for any reason, right? They have assigned you to take your dinner, in your own room, right? So the other staff members, they'll bring you your tray, bring you to your room, and the of course prior to prior to serving your lunch or dinner, you'll have a menu in which you're gonna pick two from three choices. You're gonna pick one and two, and sometimes like meat. What kind of meat is it a pork meat or chicken meat? Right, chicken, right? So you pick chicken, for instance. Okay, sometimes there's beef and chicken, so you pick one of the two. You can pick both. Like, of course, if there's a special arrangement, we understand that. But typically, that's what you have a menu. You can pick to eat shrimp, lobster. I mean, um, pork, beef, chicken. Every you can eat. There's no such thing as eating everything, anything you want. This is not a hotel. I mean, that you order just a room service, and then they'll come running for room service 20 minutes later, and you pay with a credit card. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't. It doesn't work like that. So there's a menu to take care of. There's a menu that is assigned for Monday. This is the menu for Monday. Pasta for lunch, or maybe something else for lunch, just roasted chicken or fried chicken, whatever might be the case, right? There's a menu for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for breakfast, typically is once you have survived. I don't want to use this survive mode expression too much, but once you have survived the first day, right? Then guess what? Uh, at night there is a bedtime. I mean, typically, bedtime is you can't stay in the hallway. Bedtime should be 9 o'clock. Sometimes you wanna go to bed after. Most residents at the nursing home, they go to bed after 6 after dinner, 7 o'clock. They wanna just they don't wanna stay. There's a TV area where people, but you have every room has their own TV, cable TV. You can watch TV there, of course, and then so with all the amenities that I'm mentioning, right? With all the routines it's hard to really adjust. People say, well, if you have survived, if you have adjusted to a nursing home routine for at least 2 weeks, or at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month or so, maybe you can make it the rest of the time. So some people decide, some people decide to go and test the waters to see how much you can resist. I mean, if you are still very much independent. The word independent is very sensitive, very delicate word for the elderly, of course. If you are 70 or 75 years old or 80, and you're still independent, you still drive your car, for instance, right? But then you don't have nobody to take care of. You don't have like a life alert, not even, you know, uh, situation in which, just like what happened to Gene Hackman. Apparently, he didn't have a life alert, or something, a button to push, so rescue people can come and rescue. And of course, the medical thing. I mean, the medical care that you require most. If you are independent, but you still have your intake. I mean, your pills that you're taking, medication you're taking. If you're taking 3 or 4 kinds of medication and you forget to take that, so in a nursing home facility, they will give you they know what you need at a certain time. At 8 o'clock in the morning, you need these 3 kinds of medication. At noon, maybe you have different medication to take. At night, there are different ones. So in cases like that, of course, even though that you're independent at home, very much independent, you can still cook, you can still clean a little bit, but you're taking medication. I mean, you're taking heavy medication for different illnesses and things. And so, and then once you're in a nursing home facility, that is it's been provided. Of course, loneliness is amazing. Loneliness is one of the worst epidemic at a nursing home. Even if you have all the proper care and good, nice staff members, but loneliness starts kicking in soon. And the problem, the situation is that even your children who really was visiting you at you when you were still living home, maybe they have their own lives, they have their own family, and they were checking on you, very much, at least once a week. Who knows? Some children don't check for their early parents, just a couple of weeks or once a month. Who knows? I mean, there are so many issues about isolation and loneliness. Once you hit 70, 75 years old, I mean, so 80 and more. So, and those same children that or relatives, brother, sister, who used to visit you at home, now that you are in a nursing home, they believe that most of the time they believe that maybe you're there, right? That you have other new friends, kind of, quote unquote, right? New friends, new roommate, and that you've been taken care of there. I mean, they cook for you at the nursing home. They give you medication, so there is no need to be checking on you. Think about that. Think for a moment how hard that could be. So in a new routine that you get, they cook for you at the nursing home. They have your meals ready. They have your medication ready. So now even your own children don't visit you that much, because at the nursing home facility they are taking care of you, and you're paying a big money for that, right? They're taking care of you, so they don't see the need to visit you that often like before, right? So now you're there, and of course you start feeling it right away. It doesn't take 6 months. Sometimes the second month you start feeling it. There is a distance. There is a, the first they visit you like every week, once a week sometime, and then second month maybe it's every 2 weeks. After 3 or 4 months, it's once a month. So it's gradually people start, setting up distance. Most of it. That's what I saw. That's what my experience. That's what I saw. I used to work 6, sometimes even 7 days a week at nursing home, right? 7 days a week. I used to make big overtime, and I saw so many things, and most of the time, that's how gradually even family member, friends, even the best friend in high school that you had 50, 60 years ago, that came to visit once a month. And I don't blame the people, in Western society in the United States. People are very busy. Most people are very busy, and that's the excuse. But even you have people with a busy life, but the system, is I don't know, the feeling of, they think that you need your own, that's part of your own privacy. That's the new world. That's the new you, basically. Going into have a nursing routine is new you. So now let's talk about now, how hard is, right, to come back to where you were before being a nursing home resident. Let's say you moved to a nursing home 6 months ago, right? So you've been there for 6 months now. But then you realize that you wanna, you're still able, you're still physically, able mentally, and now you wanna make a decision. You're thinking about this situation, this new situation you are in, and then you wanna reverse that decision, and that's the hardest part, because now that you have been 6 months, in there, the hardest part is that maybe the house that you had was sold now, or nobody has been there, or it was rented out. Now you have maybe they want to provide for you a new apartment, or even assisted living. But let's say you have they want to, find your children, or you on your own find a new apartment. But now that you have been 6 months in a nursing home, now that you move less, even with a nursing home facility, because everything is taken care of you. At first, when you arrive at the nursing home, you used to walk 5, 6, 10 blocks in your neighborhood, in your previous neighborhood that you used to live. You went, even the park was close by, you just drove to the park and do some exercise in the park. But once in a nursing home setting, you exercise even less. I mean, because there is a staff member who will have to be with you for insurance purposes. I mean, there are so many routines that it's not because the staff member don't want you to do anything, but for safety. Now the staff members are responsible. The nursing home owners, I mean the CEO and the staff are responsible whatever happens to you, even if you slip and fall, right? I mean, nobody was used with at the moment of you walking and slipped to and fell somewhere and hit your head, or something, fatal happens. I mean, now that so in the nursing home, they're responsible. I mean, the facility is responsible, legally responsible for whatever happened to you. So, but before, on your own, you went on your own to the park, 6 blocks away, and walk in the neighborhood at your own risk, of course. So there are so many restrictions in that sense. So now you're moving less, and your muscle, right? Before maybe 6 months prior, you had more mobility. You had more, sense of normal life. I mean, in your own neighborhood. But now that you are in a facility where you have the same routine, same thing happening every day, and now how hard is to go back? Well, guess what? Now your medication that the staff is giving you every day at the same time, and now you got used to that routine too. So now in your mind, you think, well, you going home, who's going to give you those medications again? Who's going to prepare your meal again, right? Now you have to adjust to a new, if you go back, which is harder because six months has passed by. six months went by, and now you have to. I mean, it's a very hard decision, and most of the time, there's very few exceptions of people moving back to their own place, to their own house. There's one in 1,000 people. One in 1,000 case people go back or find an apartment and just move back in very special circumstances. Because even for banking services, like for business services, let's say you have your own bank account, you still have, your credit cards is, working. Of course, you receive mail. I mean, you receive from your bank, from different pensions that you receive. I mean, your account is still on, right? But you don't take care. I mean, in a few exceptions I saw that there was some arrangement for a few residents, very few residents for that could have that they went to the bank. Of course, somebody took him or her to the bank, a staff member plus a driver, to do their banking services. But there was it was a rare exception that somebody could have done that, but they did. There were a few exceptions for that. Of course, yeah, the resident had to sign so many papers, for any liability. I mean, the papers before going out to the bank for 3 hours, from 1 to 3 in the evening, 1 to 3 in the afternoon, to take care of some business. Because once you're in the nursing home, that's it. The nursing home and your guardian basically take care of all the financial business that for you, of course. But in a few exceptions, I saw that some people had the special arrangement with a staff member and with a driver to take you to do some business. So it's hard. It's hard to get back to the things that were before. 6 months later, or even a year, the more time it goes past by, it just gets harder, because typically in a nursing home, like there was so in some cases people say, oh wow, in a year they were walking when they arrived at the nursing home, and suddenly a year after they were in a wheelchair. I mean, and what happened here? So it happens. It happens because well, the nursing home facilities is not is a last stage of a situation where when you can't be at home because of any reason, right? Even if you're able, you're not physically, you're still able, mentally still able to be at home, but in occasion you can't be, I mean, by yourself, right? You're taking some medication, you're still independent, but it's the last stage. You have made the decision to be a nurse. It's hard to reverse course. It's not like when you go to the hospital, you can, you get well. It's not an issue there of getting better. I mean, you can have your, your treatment, and people look better sometimes. But most residents, as the time goes by, it's like you aging in a 6 months or in a year, you aging like 5, 10 years. I mean, that's the situation in many ways. I mean, of course, the issue here is not the staff. I mean, the medical staff or the nursing home staff in the clinic. The issue here is that, well, it's in 99.9% of the cases it was loneliness. It was the belief that you are worth. I mean, there's no value almost in your life, and once you get there, it's like you're there and now just waiting for something bad to happen, something, the end cycle of life. I mean, and the more those friends, family members that are close to you, the distance just grows longer as the time goes by. That's the reality. Most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, in most cases, that's what's happened. That's what I saw. That's what really happens. And in a few cases, of course, they are very loyal children. I mean, some children went every week, some every 2 weeks, the most, as much as possible. And they were genuinely, trying there to comfort their parents at the nursing home facility. But guys, so after mentioning all those points that I'm mentioning, it's really hard to reverse course. So what's the solution then? Well, at all costs, the solution is that at all costs, if you can make a different arrangement or have a different lifestyle, in a different country, that's possible too. Let's say you don't want to move away from it. That's the first thing, right? That you are 60, 65, 70, 75, and your children are already in your home country, of course. But if you can make a decision, right, in a different country in which the arrangement can be better, Of course, when you have it's a lifestyle change socially, even social. Even you can join churches in a. Of course, you can join a church in Western country. I'm not saying you can't, right? But it's just a different way of life, different system of like a patriarchal system. In most Latin America, it's a patriarchal system. In Asia too, it's a patriarchal system where the tradition and the culture, right, doesn't allow to take somebody to nursing home. The idea of taking an elderly person nursing home is like giving up. It's like a punishment for that person. It's like a punishment. So it's like a cruelty. That's the culture in Latin America. If you, I mean, that's the last thing. It's a shame. It's a shame in Latin America or Asian society. It's a shame to take an elderly parent to a nursing home. It's a shame for the person. I mean, the whole community gonna find out. Oh, how come? I mean, in a social setting, somebody asks you, so where is your parents? Yeah, my parents still live, right? They're still alive, my parents. So, and where are they? Well, they're in a nursing home. In the Western countries, that's very normal, no big deal. But in Latin American society, anywhere in Latin America or Asia, it's a big shame. I mean, how could you do that? How can you? I mean, what kind of person you are? What kind of children you are? What kind of? I mean, it's just a shameful situation. It's like a sin, basically. I mean, even biblically, you know, it can be shown in the Bible that it's the patriarchal way of the generation, first generation, second generation, third generation, all living together, living in the same compound. Even if you don't live in the same house, the elder person lives in the compound where the other children lives. They have their own houses, but in the same neighborhood, where people, even neighbors who have nothing to do with you, because people in Latin America, in Asia, right, in Africa too, people just come to your house. They don't make phone calls. They just come and they just go. I mean, so the privacy doctrine, or the privacy doctrine, which is a cherished doctrine, right? A cherished, the people cherish in the U.S., in the United States, Canada, and the Western countries. It works against you in a way in Latin America, because people just show up. I mean, yeah, you take a look at what these people are doing here, like, right? Because most of Westerners love their privacy. It's a cherish. It's something. It's a treasure to have your privacy, but privacy brings other things that I just mentioned. It brings loneliness. It brings isolation, and of course, I mean, your mental health will deteriorate. I mean, without not having that social connections, normal social connection that you used to have 30 years ago when you were in your 40s, right? You have an active social lifestyle. So as you age, of course, after 70 years old, I mean, some of them, your friends, your close friends, have just passed, right? But and children start, they have their own lives. So there's a big distance, and some people loves that they want to be private, but sometimes privacy bring loneliness, bring isolation, and of course, social, disconnection with the rest of society. So, guys, after making all this reflection, um, one more time, I just wanted to, reflect on this issue of how can you reverse course after having made a decision for nursing home. So, do you all your homework, all your research, everything, keep in mind everything I said in this video, and hopefully they'll be helpful for some of you or for many of you. And thanks for watching. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe and like, and see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye bye.